Greetings, we are anonymous. We do not forget. We demand a public inquiry into the events of the G20 in Toronto, Ontario in 2010. Secret laws were passed and police were given special privileges. Police were given the right to ask for identification of an individual who tried to gain access into a public work, or the individual in question was free to leave. That was the extent of the law. The police in Toronto at the time manipulated the law, made up laws, and abused the general populace. The list of police corruption is long. Some of the many charges are: police made up laws, boxed in protesters while demanding they leave, then justifying arrests with their inability to leave, sexually assaulted protesters, physically assaulted protesters, illegally imprisoned protesters, illegally imprisoned regular civilians who had no part in the protests, deprived their illegal prisoners of water, food, sanitary conditions, medical aid, legal aid and phone calls, illegally segregated homosexuals. Police used malicious force such as rubber bullets, batons, tear gas, all of which they denied or said they were acting accordingly, and finally arresting someone because they were blowing bubbles. Yes, Officer Adam Josephs, we are talking about you. You pussy-ass bitch. Police stood by and watched while people dressed in black wreaked havoc on Toronto. They stood by while they set fire to cars and destroyed store windows, stood by while they spray-painted hate messages. They stood by and let all of this happen. They walked the other way, stood around doing nothing. Then, after these protesters mysteriously vanished, police turned on the peaceful protesters in a designated protest area, citing that they were violent and setting cars on fire. Police in the past had placed operatives into protests to incite violence. All of this happened in downtown Toronto. The police denied everything and no public inquiry has happened. Anonymous calls out to Premier Alton McGuinty to have a public inquiry into the events of the G20 summit. How dare you or Mr. Harper say there is no need? How dare you and your ilk say the police acted accordingly? Listen to we the people. We demand an inquiry. We demand the video and audio surveillance of the detention centers be released. We demand justice. If any of you are still confused what Anonymous stands for, then listen now. We stand against the injustice committed by our own government. We stand for justice. We are anonymous, we are legion, we do not forgive, we will never forget, we will not go away. Expect us.
This is a setup. This is a fucking setup. This is 10,000 cops coming. This is a fucking setup. These people are violent. This is not what I came here for.
This is a setup.
This is.